we also need to be able to do what we call an inverse function. So basically, an inverse function is the reverse of a function we've already been given. So if we had a function that was x plus 1, the reverse of it, the inverse function, would be x minus 1, because you're doing the reverse to the x, to the input. So the inverse of a function is the reverse of it, doing the opposite. So here's a nice way to work that out and work out what the inverse function is. Here we've got a function of x that is x squared plus 3 divided by 2. In other words, when we put a value that is x in, it'll give us the answer, squaring it, adding 3 and dividing by 2. So what is the actual inverse of the function of x then? So if the function of x is x squared plus 3 divided by 2, what's the inverse function of x? Well, first of all, set your equation so that for the moment we'll turn the fact that it's the function of x is just simply y. So we've changed it into a normal little equation that we've dealt with before, and we're going to do something that we've done in the past, and by now hopefully you'll have practiced enough, which is changing the subject of the equation. So at the moment the subject of the equation is y. We're going to make x the subject of the equation. So the first thing we do is get rid of that 2 from the bottom, and because both x squared and plus 3 were divided by the 2, if we multiply both sides by 2, it cancels it off on the right. So we're left with 2 times y is equal to x squared plus 3, or 2y is equal to x squared plus 3. The next thing, to get the x squared on its own, we're going to have to get rid of that 3. So we're going to deduct 3 from both sides. So 2y minus 3 will give us x squared, because by deducting 3 from the right side, it's cancelled that 3 off. And we want x as the subject, not x squared. So we square root both sides, and now we've got x as the subject. So the square root of 2y minus 3 is x. How is this the inverse function of x? Well, last little trick to this is change the y to an x, and you've got the inverse function of x. So back in the beginning, where it was x squared plus 3 all divided by 2 was the function of x, the inverse function of that is the square root of 2x minus 3. So that's how to work out the inverse function, the function that does the opposite.